about 55 degrees. We have low humidity. Of course, it's going to be 85 here during the weekend. Anyway, it's good to be in Montgomery County. It's good to be at the Lone Star Convention Center. On the way out this morning, I was thinking about my first swearing-in ceremony back in 1991. The Commissioner's Court still met in the old courthouse. The biggest room we could meet in for a swearing-in ceremony was Fred Edwards' 9th District Court. At the time, it was Judge John Martin's second night in court. Remember that, David? I think our sheriff at the time was Joe Farley. I think our county clerk at the time was Roy Harris. Some old names in the past. But it's good to be here in 2009. We have some great new elected officials that we're really excited about. The Commissioner's Court is really excited about. And I look forward to getting these people sworn in today. By the way, work starts tomorrow. Tomorrow's not a holiday. But I want to introduce first this morning probably my favorite elected official in Montgomery County. He's been our congressman since 1996. He's on the Ways and Means Committee, which is probably the most important committee in Congress. He will be in charge of our new taxes. He will keep the Obama administration in check. Kevin. Anyway, please welcome our Congressman, Kevin Brady.
Lord, thank you very much for having me, and thank you for your leadership as well. Did they, when you first got elected, did they have electricity back then? Barb has made history by being our longest-standing, longest-serving county judge in Montgomery County's history. Join me in thanking Barb for all of you. Well, we have a standing room crowd. It is an exciting day. I don't know about you, but every day you're sworn in. That's taking oath of office is a memorable day. The public has hired you for the next 2 to 4 years, depending on your term, to work for them. And today's the first day on the job. No matter how long you've held it, today is still the first day on the job. My job today is to lead us in prayer. Would you bow with me? Dear Lord, we thank our Heavenly Father, you for guiding such a wonderful group of servants into taking on the tasks that lie ahead. Lord, we ask for your blessings as these public servants sacrifice their time and energy away from their family each day to make life better for every member of our community. And in these challenging times, we ask that you keep them safe as they work on our behalf. Remind them that all things are possible through him who strengthens us. We will continue to pray for your strong guidance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And again, let me just say, I say this because I have the experience of representing a lot of counties throughout the years in Texas. We're very fortunate in Montgomery County. The quality of the leaders that we elect, their ability to work together to find solutions, to really go each day, spend each hour of each day working on our behalf, and they do a wonderful job working together to solve problems so that we're not just one of the fastest growing counties in America, but we're one of the best growing counties in America, and that's a huge difference. God bless you. Thank you for having me here on this important day.
Next, we'll have the longest-standing Commissioner's Court lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. He's Commissioner Ed Chance from the Woodlands, and he's been a real leader on the court. I cannot thank him enough for what all he's done in helping us get through the many years he's been on the court. Ed Chance, thank you. Please join me in honoring our flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is Sherry Wilson here? Sherry.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, forever waves of
been the head of the Republican Party. Wally, I've forgotten the number of years. I think since 1965. 64. Just about 1 year. You know, I was talking about the first time we had the swearing-in ceremony in 1991 where we were at the ninth, where Wally was there. He'd already been the county chairman for 25 years in 1991. Wally Wilkerson, I hope you run again in 2010. I hope you run again in 2012. I want you to continue as our county chairman. Please welcome County Chairman of the Republican Party, Dr. Wally Wilkerson.
Well, Judge, thank you very much for those kind words, and I appreciate the honor to be here on the same podium with our great congressman and you as our great county judge, and to share a few thoughts with you in this very, very momentous occasion. And I only want to echo what the judge has said in regard to the quality of people that we've been fortunate to have and serve our county. I'm sure we're all saddened and disappointed to hear the news regarding the governor of Illinois and his apparent attempt to sell the appointment of a vacated United States Senate seat to the highest bidder, almost like putting it on eBay. But this sort of news seems to be more commonplace than any of us could have imagined a few decades ago. The action of a few misguided office holders adversely affects the image of all office holders, whether public or party. We can only conclude that an office holder like the governor ran for elective office for all the wrong reasons. It has been my privilege to have been associated with many office holders over my 45 years of involvement in partisan politics. This recent event in Illinois led me to think about what traits the most successful ones possess, and I would like to share them with you. I'm certain many of you might have your own list, but I've come up with 4. Both public and party office holders must be prepared to 1, serve the people, 2, be honest and truthful, 3, work hard, and 4, be loyal. To serve means to be of assistance or to promote the interest of the people. President John F. Kennedy once said, and I quote, "Both major political parties today seek to serve the national interest." Office holders should have a servant's heart and a desire to serve others. They should be aware of the people's needs, available to help, and the ability to accept their constituents' desires and requests as important. Service should not be motivated by manipulation or self-promotion, but rather by need and opportunity. Arthur Eugene Haybucker described service in this way. Serve means to be of assistance to promote the interest of the people. The true leader serves people, serves the best interest, and in doing so will not always be popular, may not always impress, but because true leaders are motivated by loving concern rather than for personal glory, they are willing to pay the price. Albert Schweitzer wisely stated, "I do not know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know, the ones among you who will really be happy are those who saw it and found how to serve." Honesty is a quality associated with moral excellence. It implies truthfulness, fairness in dealing, genuineness, and the absence of fraud, fakery, and deceit. Honesty spreads through every social activity requiring people to act. I hate that man like the very gates of death, who says one thing but hides another in his heart, cried Achilles in Homer's book, Iliad. William J. Bennett wrote in his book of virtues, "How is honesty cultivated? Like most virtues, it is best developed and exercised in harmony with others. The more it is exercised, it becomes a settled disposition. But there is a quick answer, and that may be given in 3 words. Take it seriously." There is an Old Testament story in the book of Ezra that teaches that truth is mighty and will prevail. Around 520 BC, Darius was crowned king of Persia. A great celebration was held, and when it was over, Darius returned to his palace and fell asleep, only to be awakened by a conversation among 3 young men who were standing guard over him. They were arguing about what was the strongest thing in the world. Finally, they decided to write a sentence about each one's choice, and then place it under the king's pillow. The king would then choose the winner the following morning. The first young man wrote, "Wine is the strongest." The second wrote, "The king is the strongest." The third, named Zorobabel, the leader of the Jewish people, wrote on his piece of paper, "Above all, truth bears the victory." The next morning, each of the young men stood before the king and spoke to the king to justify their choice. Zorobabel, the third man, said, "O king, great is truth, and stronger than all things. Wine is wicked. The king is wicked. All the children of men are wicked, and they shall perish. But truth lasts forever. She is always strong. She never dies, and is never defeated." The crowd shouted their approval, and the king said to Zorobabel, "Ask whatever thou wilt. Thou art the wisest." Work refers to the use of physical or mental capacity in order to accomplish something, contrasted with play and recreation. Arthur William J. Bennett has said, and I quote, "Work is applied effort. It is whatever we put ourselves into, whatever we expend our energy for the sake of accomplishing or achieving something. Work, in this fundamental sense, is not what we do for a living. It is what we do with our living." This point from McGuffey's reader of the 19th and 20th century is very appropriate in the 21st century. Work while you work, play while you play, one thing each time. That is the way. All that you do with your mind. Things by halves are not done right. In one of Aesop's fables, he tells a farmer who's dying, and he gathers all of his sons around his bedside, and he begins to tell them about a hidden treasure in their vineyard. Upon his death, the sons immediately took their shovels and they began to turn the earth over and over in search of the treasure. They found none. But the vines, after so much digging, produced a crop such as never before seen. And Aesop concludes, there is no treasure without toil. Loyalty is steadfastness in allegiance to the nation, the state, and faithfulness to person or idea. A loyal friend or a fellow citizen will work within the framework of caring about their country or their friend. Loyalty equals courage because it appears when faced with stressful events. William J. Bennett wrote, and I quote, "Real loyalty endures inconvenience, withstands temptation, and does not cringe under assault." Rudyard Kipling's poem, The Thousandth Man, reminds us that loyalty can sometimes be a rare commodity. It echoes a verse in the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible which says, "One man in 1,000 have I found." One man in 1,000, Solomon says, will stick more close than a brother. And it's worthwhile seeking him half your days if you find him before the other. 999 depend on what the world sees in you, but the 1,000th man will stand your friend with the whole world against you. There's neither promise nor prayer nor show will settle the finding for thee. 999 of them go, by your looks, or your acts, or your glory. But if he finds you and you find him, the rest of the world doesn't matter. For the 1,000th man will sink or swim with you in the water. You can use his purse with no more talk than he uses yours for his spendings, and laugh and meet in your daily walk as though there have been no lendings. 999 of them call for silver and gold in their dealings, but the 1,000th man, he's worth them all, because you can show him your feelings. His wrongs, your wrong. His rights, your right. In season or out of season. Stand up and back it in all man's sight. With that for your only reason. 999 can buy, but the 1,000th man will stand by your side. The shame or mocking or laughter to the gallows foot and after. Finally, I want to summarize all I've said in a poem from an unknown author. I've added loyalty and love, subtracted hate and intolerance, multiplied it with honesty and morality, and have come up with truth and loyalty. May God bless America, Texas, Montgomery County, and all office holders, past and present. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wilkerson. Let's go ahead and start the oath of office. And by the way, the families are invited to come on up. As many as you want to bring. First, we have the Chief Justice of the Ninth Court of Appeals, Stephen McKeithen, the Honorable Charles Frederick, will swear him in. Please step forward.
Good morning. It's indeed my privilege to administer the oath of office of Chief Justice this morning. I'd just like to say the Ninth Court of Appeals handles all of the appeals from the trial courts of Montgomery County as well as 9 other counties across southeast Texas. And it's been a privilege of mine to serve with the Chief Justice over these past 20 years. I look forward to serving with him many more years. Not only does he serve as Chief Justice of our court, but he also handles all the administrative duties and responsibilities of the court, and has done a very good job. And you, the people of Montgomery County, should be especially proud of him this year, as he was elected by his peers, the other 13 Chief Justices of the Courts of Appeals across the state of Texas, to serve as Chief of the Council of Chief Justices for this next upcoming year. I, Steve L. do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Chief Justice of the Ninth Court of Appeals for the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and the great state of Texas. So help me God.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Judge Brother. I appreciate those very kind words. I didn't beg you to say those words. Good have. I'm very, very blessed. I'm very blessed today that my wife Sherry is with me, my daughter Sarah, our son Seth is at work, that's a good thing. There was a rumor going around when I was running for re-election this time that I married a 17-year-old girl. And that's true. It's Sherry. It was a while ago. So I want to squelch that. I appreciate everything that people supporting me and working with me did. I appreciate everything that everyone in this county and the other counties do to ensure good government. And I promise you that I will do everything in my power and my abilities to continue to serve you as the Chief Justice with the best of my ability. I thank you.
Next up, we have one of our longest-standing district judges, the Honorable Judge Fred Edwards. We made a mistake on the program. We have Nelda Blair swearing him in. It should have been the Honorable Nelda Blair. She's on the Board of Regents of the University of Houston, and she's also chairman of Woodlands Township.
Thank you. Good morning.
Never down the steps.
After Governor Rick Perry appointed to the University of Houston System Board of Regents last year, my very dear friend and fellow University of Houston alumnus, Judge Fred Edwards, did me a great honor by conducting my swearing-in ceremony. So today, I return the favor, and I would like to announce that we're swearing Judge Fred Edwards into his 5th term of office in the Ninth District.
I, Fred Edwards,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of Judge of the Ninth District Court of Sanitation,
the duties of the office of the judge in the Ninth District Court of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United
and
States
of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God. I have a few of my family members are here. My dad couldn't make it. He's under the weather this morning. But my mom is here. Joyce Edwards. I'll tell you a quick story. After I got elected, I was kind of full of myself. And I was in the fair parade. And so we had a pickup truck with signs for an Edwards up there. And Mom drove. And all through the parade, all I heard from the crowd was, "Hi, Joyce. Hey, Joyce. Hi, Joyce." So at the end of the parade, I said, "Next year, Mom, I'll drive. You get in the back." My brother Jimmy, former county judge of Montgomery County, the last Democratic county judge of Montgomery County. My sister-in-law, Francine, is here. My wife of 30 years, Linda. My two daughters, Elizabeth and Catherine. My son, Joe, couldn't make it. He's in Hollywood. And I always tease him and say he lived in California, which is borders the Pacific and the ridiculous. But I've been on the bench. I've just finished my 16th year. And it just seems like it just got started. I think that I've accomplished something, but I want to accomplish a lot more. The judiciary in this county is a great judiciary. We have a lot of members here, and we have a lot of work to do. So support us, because we believe in what we do, and we believe in you. And for the next 4 years, I'll give it my best. Thank you very much.
Next, I'm proud to introduce our newest district judge, 480th district judge from Montgomery County. Tracy Gilbert and his family, please step forward. His daughter, who is 12, had a slumber party. He got to bed this morning at 5:15.
duties of the office of 418th District Court
418th District Court
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws
the Constitution and the laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this great state.
and of this great state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Obviously, I learned about 5 minutes ago that there's a speech required. I want to thank my family, my wife Mary, for being here. I have my parents here and in-laws here this morning. I'm humbled and honored to start serving you in this county where I grew up. I remember Judge Sadler's father, one of the first doctors here when I was a child, along with Dr. Wilkerson, and I hope to strive to work to attain the 4 qualities that we heard about this morning. Thank you very much.
Court, Judge Michael T. Seiler. He was sworn in earlier to start work early. He's already done a great job for Montgomery County, but now the work really starts, Judge. Please welcome Judge Seiler. And the longest-serving District Court Judge, the Honorable Suzanne Snowball, swearing in.
Back in the old days, in fact, Kevin, right after the courthouse was wired for electricity, when I was initially on the district bench, it was the policy of the district attorney to appoint to the courtroom to prosecute for a new judge someone who was very knowledgeable, easy to get along with, and efficient. And so, according to that policy, Mike Seiler and Jim Pruitt were both appointed to prosecute in my courtroom. I think that the real theory was they wanted someone in there that knew what they were doing, and it was Seiler. So Seiler and I have had a long history together. And I just want to say that all those things that Dr. Wilkerson said are important in an elected official are here with Judge Seiler. He's honest, he's truthful, he's loyal, and he's moral. And as far as the judge is concerned, I know he has wonderful judicial temperament, and he's just a really good person. Montgomery County, you were very smart in your election. Okay. Oh, and I have to say, he was sworn in June 5th. Okay, and I did it. So that he could help us all out, which he has been doing. But of course, I made a mistake, and I swore myself in as the 435th. So actually, I have been the judge of the 231st and the 435th. But at any rate, okay. So I'm going to give this to you. All right.
I, Mike Seiler,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the 435th District Court
of the 435th District Court
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state.
the constitutional laws of the United States and the state.
So help me
So
God.
help me God. I hope that's almost some money. Sticking the bill.
Oh, the honesty thing.
I need to thank my wife, Ken Seiler, because without her, I'm not standing here, because she was a true supporter, and I'm very, very lucky to be married to her. And I want to thank you. This is my son, Ethan Seiler, who's wearing a tie and spends our money talking. My daughter, Rachel Seiler, a very special little angel. I pledge to give this job my all. I'm very proud to be elected 4th
lot it covers, and I want to thank everybody who showed up here today. Thank you.
Another new judge who's also stepped up early to help out the county court and law system, Keith Mills Stewart, is a new judge in the new court, 5th County Court of Law of Montgomery County. Please welcome Judge Stewart. And the Honorable Karen Woods will swear him in.
It is my great pleasure to swear in Judge Stewart again. I had the privilege of swearing him in October. He also took office early so that he could help the other judges in Montgomery County. We are very grateful to him, and it is my pleasure now. I, Keith Mills Stewart,
I, Keith Mills Stewart,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of Judge,
the duties of the office of Judge,
County Court of Law Number 5,
County Court of Law Number 5,
Montgomery County, Texas,
Montgomery County, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States and of this state.
of the United States and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And Keith wanted me to make sure and tell you that he has been up all night at the jail. He was part of the FBI task force, and it was my privilege to actually swear him in about 12:50 this morning before he went on duty at 1.
But that should explain if I jumble or ramble at this point in time, or say two things. And Judge Seiler was there with us the whole time, so that was an interesting situation, and it's a good program. Very excited and honored to have this duty, and I take it with... Make sure we don't jump off here. Anyway, I'll go ahead and introduce my family. This is William, it's 2. Abigail is 4. My wife Julie, she, as Mike said, it's hard to do anything like this without somebody that's behind you 100%. I love her, and I thank her so much for that. I'm honored to have this job and to have the responsibility that comes with it. The 3 months I've done it so far have gone pretty smoothly, and I'm anticipating that it will from here on, and looking forward to it. I thank y'all so much for your support.
Another long-term county official will be sworn in for his 3rd term as county attorney, who's done a great job. Please welcome David Walker up to be sworn in.
Good morning. I've had the privilege of serving you on the Court of Appeals for the last 8 years. And this morning I have the great honor and privilege of administering the oath of office to my good friend and yours, County Attorney David Walker, for his 3rd term. Right now. I, David Walker,
I, David Walker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of County Attorney of Montgomery County, Texas,
of County Attorney of Montgomery County, Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I'm going to mess this up, I think, but I believe it's Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4, says that a good and righteous woman is the crown of her husband. I'd 59 years ago yesterday. I'm pleased that she was willing to undertake the effort and pain of bringing me into this world. My brother, Lewis Walker, Jr., and my sister-in-law, Sharon Walker, is Lucretia Cardenas here? The courier? Great. Lucretia, I want you to take note. I've got one other thing to say, and then I'm going to quit. Texcom, I'm still county attorney. We don't want you here, so go away.
Next, I think we're going to have a pretty big crowd up here. What a great race we saw our new district attorney run, Brett Liggett. Brett's working hard. He'll be sworn in by the Honorable Don Strickland of Harris County.
Consistent with the instructions that I received from Brett a little bit earlier, this is going to be brief. Just go back up for 1 second to tell you that right at 20 years ago, Brett showed up in the Harris County District Attorney's Office as an intern. And for those of you that have never been involved with the system, an intern is much like this podium. It's here, it's useful, but when you step away from it, you don't think about it. Through his diligence, his effort, and he was determined from the very, very beginning that he was going to come up through the system and be district attorney. The very first time we ever talked about him being district attorney, it was going to be in Montgomery County. And he is here today having accomplished something that he started at least 20 years ago. Y'all are very smart in your decision.
I, Brett Liggett,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of District Attorney of Montgomery County,
of the office of District Attorney of Montgomery County,
the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my abilities,
and will to the best of my abilities
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Tracy Gilbert, I've now had 10 minutes of notice of our speech this morning. It's probably easier for me to say, if you're not here to see Sheriff Gaines, raise your hand, because I would assume you're here to see everybody else. I want to say specifically thank you to Judge Keith Stewart and Judge Mike Seiler. As you know, they were there working the program last night. When it fell upon me to organize the No Refusal Weekend, I called the rookies out. I said, hey, Keith, Mike, would you be willing? Those guys stepped into the fray immediately, showed no reservations. Once again, I'm very proud of those two, and I certainly appreciate their support. They didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but I think that as voters in Montgomery County, you're not so much interested in what happens when you can see them. It's usually more important to know what's going on behind the scenes when you're not watching politicians. So you've got two elected officials that were giving up their time. They were volunteering their time, basically upon a request from me and for law enforcement. So I want to thank them right off the bat. I can't tell you how much it means to have the support of your family, my mom, my dad, my family. I'm not going to cry. I think that people are tired of politicians talking and that people want to see you work. it's not as important as what I say, it's more important than what I do. So I expect each one of you to hold me to the highest standard possible. I feel like I've done my job to get elected. Now it's part of your job to make sure that I'm doing what I said that I was going to do, which is to revolutionize Montgomery County. I cannot have done this without specifically the Montgomery County SWAT team, those guys, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, Tommy Gage showed an incredible amount of faith in me early on in the campaign. I appreciate them stepping out there. The Montgomery County SWAT team, particularly the most sexiest detective in Montgomery County, Ken Cole. Ken raised his hand. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Blaine. My friends, my family, my cousins. I just want to tell everybody thank you again, and I hope that I don't let you down.
You know, I think Brett has more family than Mike Better does here. The next official to be sworn in has been a justice of the peace. He's been a mayor. He's been tax assessor collector for many, 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 many years. Please welcome J.R. Moore, Jr.
Do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
tax assessor collector of Montgomery County, Texas,
tax assessor collector of Montgomery County, Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws
the Constitution and the laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this great state.
and of this great state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
You know, I stand before you today starting my 7th term in office. And I look back at who was here the first time that I took the oath, and I see Melda Blair and Jim Blair. Still have the picture that they took of me and my bride, my wife, of 38 years, Rena. My son, John, my daughter-in-law, Kim, and my 3 grandsons, Justin, being the oldest. And I guess we could say Dylan's 5 minutes older than Mason, the twins. But let me tell you, the thing that's the honor is to know that 22 years ago when I ran for this office, I had opponents. I've not had opponents since that time. Every time you put me back in office, you put added responsibility on me to continue achieving the things that you want to achieve, to continue treating you in the manner and means that we've treated you in the past. But most importantly, like Dr. Wilkerson said earlier, provide you the trustworthiness, the job, and the ability to continue moving forward with Montgomery County. In the time I've been in office, we've grown from being the 19th largest county to the 10th largest county. We've been successful because of the elected officials that we brought on board since that time. We have a great bunch of people to work with. I look forward to this, and I thank you for your support.
The next elected official, I think we all know who he is by now. Is our Honorable Sheriff, Tommy Gage. He'll be sworn in by Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1, Lady Mariah.
I'll take care of the judge.
Sheriff Gage and I go back some 30-some-odd years. Started out in Houston, Texas together. Him a little ahead of me, Houston Police Department. And we've been hanging out and fighting crime, corruption, and or evil for many years. We really appreciate what he's doing here in Montgomery County, Texas. Do solemnly swear and affirm. Do solemnly swear and affirm. That I will faithfully execute the duties. That I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of sheriff, of Montgomery County, Texas. Montgomery County, Texas. And to the best of my ability. Will to the best of my ability. Preserve, protect, and defend. Preserve, protect, and defend. The Constitution and the laws of the United States. The Constitution and the laws of the United States. And of this great state, so help me God. And of this great state, so help me God. Thank you, Judge Riley, my family, my wife Holly Neal, my daughter Molly, Benton, and Dax. 2 of my 9 grandchildren. Now, they don't all belong to Molly. I know that. Listen, what an honor it's been for me in the past 4 years to serve as your sheriff with all these folks that we see coming up here today who are being reelected again because of the job that they're doing in this county. But I can assure you that today in law enforcement, starting today, is one of the greatest days for law enforcement in Montgomery County because of 2 good friends of mine who are coming into office today. One that's already been sworn in. My friend and brother, Brett Lee. My friend and brother, Rowdy Hayden. Starting today, you're going to see better law enforcement you've ever seen in Montgomery County, and certainly it's an honor for me to be a part of that, and I give that credit to the men and women in Montgomery County Sheriff's Office for the job that they've done. Thank you very much.
Next elected official, been a long-term friend of mine, who I work with every day. I have for the last 16 years. He's my commissioner of Precinct 1, County Commissioner Mike Vetter.
Well, I was young and wet behind ears when I got elected in 03 to serve as just a piece of Precinct 1. This was my mentor, like my dad. When I needed anything, I would go by and say, what do you think about this? Use him for a sounding board my whole couple of terms that we've been here. And we appreciate what he does. I, Mike Vetter.
I, Mike Vetter.
Do solemnly swear and affirm.
Do solemnly swear and affirm.
That I will faithfully execute the duties.
That I will faithfully execute the duties.
The office of Commissioner of Precinct 1.
The office of Commissioner of Precinct 1.
Montgomery County, Texas.
Montgomery County, Texas.
And will to the best of my ability.
And will to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The constitutions and the laws of the United States.
The Constitution and the laws of the United States.
And of this state.
And of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
What a privilege to be sworn in by a good friend and an excellent JP, one of the best, I think, in Montgomery County. Thank you, Judge. Judge Sadler, my family, I don't have a lot of family here today. I'm waiting for us to move this into the bigger room before I invite all my family. So I'm giving you guys a break. I knew Brad, Riley, and all the new politicians will have a lot of family. But Janie did come with me this morning. It is an honor and a privilege to me that you have chosen me to serve you for the last 16 years. I take my job very seriously. I enjoy my job. And I'm very fortunate to serve on Commissioner's Court with the members that I do. I think in Montgomery County you're blessed with tremendous quality of elected officials. I think we're very fortunate. And I will serve you to the best of my ability for the next 4 years. Thank you for allowing me to stay. Everybody knows everybody that knew me. So. Thank you, Judge. All righty. Next on the list is the senior member of the Montgomery County Commissioners Court. He's been a great leader on the court, and I appreciate everything he does for me and other members of the court. Please welcome Commissioner Ed Chance.
One thing I'll say about Commissioner Chance, we have to go for Commissioner's Court funding and ask for more money or move money or do something like that. Better have his stuff together when you go before this meeting. He knows his numbers backwards and forwards, and he will correct you, tell you what's right, what's wrong. And I appreciate that. It keeps it straight and narrow path. I, Ed Chance, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Commissioner of Precinct 3, Montgomery County, Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and these states, so help me God.
It's been my privilege to serve as your Commissioner of Precinct 3 since 1986. I've enjoyed the job. It's been a lot of fun. I look forward to staying for several more terms. There's two really important things that make your job worthwhile and make you successful in. That's the group of folks that you work with at the precinct and the court, and the family that you got to manage. Here's one behind me here. My wife's not able to be with us today. She wasn't feeling well, but this is my daughter and son-in-law, Randy and Roy. Jackson, the youngest, Logan, Reagan, Taylor, and Blair. And these 5 kids here are the life of life, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve you. Thank you.
Next, we have another long-term serving constable, elected official for Montgomery County. As a matter of fact, he is my constable. Please welcome Don Chumley.
A long time ago, Joe Crawley brought this young man here to the house in Northwest Montgomery County. He said, Lanny said he's a great man. He said, get out in that area, beat the bushes, and get people out to vote. I was in Houston there for a while, but I did not know Constable Chumley during that time. But after getting to know him, we share office together, office space right across the hall from each other. And this is another person out in Precinct 1, which is my constable. And I appreciate the job he does in keeping me on the straight and narrow path. Thank you, Constable. I, Don Chumley.
I, Don Chumley.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Constable of Precinct 1
of the office of Constable of Precinct 1
of these states of Texas, and will the best of my ability preserve, defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God.
This will be my 6th term as constable, and I want to thank everyone who had a hand, my staff, citizenry. We had, I think, the best citizenry and staff in the state of Texas. As so many others have said, you can't get anything done without a good family behind you. My family here is with me, part of my family is here with me today. My wife, Barbara, 46 years. She's put up with me all this time, and I'm going to tell you, she's been the mainstay in my life and in our life of law enforcement as well. She is the crown for me as well.
mentioned that a little earlier, but she has been my friend. Barbara, this is my daughter-in-law Kathy, my grandson Ty, my brother Wayne, my son James, and my sister-in-law Becky. They're all here with me today to celebrate the 6th term of office. And again, I want to thank everybody who had a part in this last election to help us get re-elected again for the 6th time. And as far as working with our JP, Lenny Moriarty, Commissioner's Court, and our sheriff, and looking forward to working with Brett Dagan and law enforcement in this county to do the best we can do for everybody that have had faith to put us here in office. Thank you.
Precinct 2. Constable, please welcome Constable Gene DeForest. Gene, where are you? Judge Marion Turner.
Good morning. We go back to the olden days also. Before I became judge and was in private practice, I was an assistant district attorney when the district attorney's office, Mr. Ligon, had 5 assistant PAs. And during that time, serving as an assistant district attorney, Gene DeForest was a detective with the Conroe Police Department. And I can tell you that back in the 80s and 90s, when he would present his cases, he presented himself with character, integrity, and for prosecuting cases so that Montgomery County would be a safe place to reside in. And he continues to maintain those same qualities as constable. I'm honored to swear you in again, and I've lost track of how many terms, but this will be his 3rd term. I, Gene DeForest, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Constable Precinct 2, Montgomery County, of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations.
Well, 8 years ago, I entered this office and got elected and stood here. And I, like some of the others, had about 5 minutes to determine that I had something to say. And this time, at least, I knew, but I didn't prepare. So this is kind of off the cuff, I guess you can say. First of all, I'd like to introduce my wife of 34. David, I'm not sure exactly how long it took you to find it in the Bible, but that was pretty good. I tell you that, working with all the elected officials, Judge Sadler and the commissioners, it's been a real thrill for me. I'm not per se a politician by a long shot, but I am me, and I am for you, the people. The people voted me into office, and gives me a chance to do the things that I do, and I can't do it alone. I thank all my staff, everybody that works for me and works for Precinct 2 Council's office. We all work and work hard and do a great job, and I want to thank them, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do. Second off is working with all the other law enforcement officials in this county, the sheriff, Tommy Gage, all the other constables, and I look forward to working with Constable Roddy Gayton. I'm not sure where he's at, but I look forward to working with him and doing some things with him. We've already sat down and visited, working, when Don Chumley, one of our great constables that I worked with, and David Hill. David has helped me along quite a bit on a number of things that I've had. Of course, David Walker's office, I visited with his people a number of times over things that I had questions. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for putting me here and giving me the opportunity to serve you. I'm here for you. I want to thank you very much. God bless, and I thank God for you.
officials coming in to be sworn in. Rowdy Hayden had a race in the primary. He also had a race in November. It's kind of strange that we got the county actually have a race in November. Please welcome the newest constable in Precinct 4, Constable Rowdy Hayden. I had the honor of working with Rowdy's dad, Charles Hayden, as a commissioner back in the early 90s. Charles, it's good to see you, buddy. Who'll be sworn in by the Honorable Judge Betts from Precinct 4. Thank you, sir.
I, Rowdy Hayden. I, Rowdy Hayden. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully execute. That I will faithfully execute. The duties of the office of. The duties of the office of. Precinct 4 Constable. Precinct 4 Constable. Montgomery County, Texas. Montgomery County, Texas. And will to the best of my ability. And will to the best of my ability. Protect and defend. Serve, protect, and defend. The Constitution and the laws of the United States. The Constitution and the laws of the United States. Of this state. And of this state. So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations. My prayer that Rowdy Hayden will be so busy with his job at Precinct 4 that he will not have time to pull pranks on myself, and Commissioner Reinhardt, namely imitating Wayne Doctorino. Thank you, Judge. We do try to have a little fun in Precinct 4. First of all, I'd like to thank God for allowing us to be here today, allowing all this to happen. If it weren't for Him, I sure wouldn't be here. Second of all, I'd like to thank my wife, Jennifer, my mom, my dad, my sister, my kids. I couldn't have done any of this without them. I've got an aunt and uncle in the crowd, some other family. What can I say? They stood by me. I love them for that. Also, I'd like to thank all the other constables, commissioners, elected officials, department heads that I've visited with in the past few weeks. You've all been real supportive of me. You've helped me when I've needed it and you've seen to it that this is going to happen. We're looking forward to the change in Precinct 4. And last but not least, I want to thank my supporters and my friends. Anybody from Precinct 4 here today? This crowd has been with me every event we've attended. It's kind of like the Verizon commercial. You see my shoulder and everything. They're all there. I think if we get our hands on a helicopter, it'd be in there. I want to thank y'all for being here and for supporting me and standing by me. I want to cut the rest of it kind of short. There's some Precinct 4 deputy constables that want me to go to work. Thank you.
Last but not least, we have Constable David Hill, who yesterday, finished 26 years in office in Magnolia, Texas, as the Constable of Precinct 5 come up here. Please welcome Constable David Hill. He'll be sworn in by the Justice of JP number 5, Matt Madison.
It's my honor today to swear in Constable David Hill. Back in 1983, the constable hired me on. He taught me everything I know. And until a couple years ago. Become judge, and most judges out there, seems like you know a whole lot more than I was becoming a deputy. So it's my honor today to swear you in, Constable. I, David Hill.
I, David Hill.
Solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
I will faithfully execute the duties of the office.
I will faithfully execute the duties of the office.
Constable Precinct 5, Montgomery County.
Constable Precinct 5, Montgomery County.
Of the state of Texas.
Great state of Texas.
And will, to the best of my abilities.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Serve.
Preserve.
Protect.
Protect.
And to defend the Constitution.
Defend the Constitution.
And the laws of the United States.
The laws of the United States.
Of this state.
And of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
How backwards we were then. Thad Bigby was our jailer, and he closed the jail at midnight and went to bed. That's the God's honest truth. You ask the old timers around here. I think I might be the old timer around here. He did closed at midnight, and we've seen a great change. And I brag on Tommy Gage, the other law enforcement officials, the constables. We've come a long, long way in the last 40 years. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I appreciate the people of Precinct 5. I came into office with two goals. One, to operate under Christian principles. Second, to be the best constable in the state of Texas. I guess they don't think I've managed that one yet because they keep electing me. I hope they do it for 9 more years. 9 more years. I thank my wife, Linda, 41 years of marriage. My daughter, Angie, her husband, Tom, who's a sergeant down in Harris County. My sister-in-law and my grandson, the only grandson I can get to come with me this morning. I've got 8 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren, but I couldn't get any of them to come with me. They're not as excited about this as I am. I am happy to be here doing what I'm doing. Let me get my staff to stand up. Everybody that works for me out there, stand up. These are the guys and girls. I thank y'all. These are the guys and girls that make my life just easy as pie. I love what I'm doing. It's because the first thing you ought to do is hire good people that want to work. I see a retired person out there that work for me. Ollie Neal. Charlie used to work for me. He retired. You ought to hire good people. You ought to get out of the way and let them work. So that's what I try to do in Precinct 5. I want to keep on doing it for 9 more years. Y'all come again. Thank you.
In conclusion of the program, Dr. Roberson, thank you for coming today and giving that great speech. We really appreciate that very much. Congressman Kevin Brady, thank you for coming and for your remarks. We really appreciate that. Tomorrow morning we start work